So at this point, is there anything else on the realtor side that they are going to need to do?
Well, so during the same time, the title company is also doing a lot of work for you. And that largely is a whole nother video, but just know that they're sending you a whole bunch of documents too. They're doing their title search, making sure it's what we call a clean title they can sell off, that there aren't any hidden sneaky owners that have rights to the property that we don't know about, that when you close, that this property will truly be yours. So you'll be getting information from them as well about title insurance. If you're buying a property within a homeowners association, they'll be helping get you all the documents for the HOA paperwork. Please, please, please read all of that before closing day and tell your realtor when you did, because it's really important to know what you're getting into. We don't want you later to get a surprise that your garbage can only be out for 4 hours a day or whatever. There's some crazy rules out there. Yeah. We want you to know them. And then kind of as we get close to closing, we all get excited. We set a closing date. Everyone's going to sign. We're going to take our turns. Typically, the seller goes to the closing table first. They sell the home, and then as a buyer, you come in and buy the home. Before you go to the title company and sign, we'll do what we call a final walkthrough. So we'll go in, make sure the house hasn't sprung any magical leaks, make sure all those repairs we negotiated are done, and that we've seen all the invoices of all the work, and that everything is exactly like it's supposed to be. And you will actually have to sign a paper that says, no, I'm good. This is still the house I want. This is still the condition it's supposed to be in. Let's do this.
Yeah. Because, sometimes you look at something for the first time and you're taking it all in, but doing that second walkthrough really does help you say, okay, I'm familiar with the space now, and I can kind of pay more attention to those little details that maybe I didn't appreciate before. So it's an important step.
It is. And honestly, if you want to go back to the property in between those times, all you have to do is let the realtor know. We can have access to the property. You just can't go into it by yourself until after closing day. The realtor yours truly is always willing to take you in, hey, my mom and dad are in town. They want to see the house and see what they think, and I just need another set of eyes. Absolutely. Please go through it, spend some time there. I always encourage people to be in the house a couple times. Make sure you're really comfortable. Yeah. It's a big investment. Most people don't buy that many houses in their life.
Yeah. And I think it's important to just say, as a side note, if you go into a home that you've been under contract in and you just don't feel it anymore, it's important to communicate all of those things with your realtors. I think that's a pretty rare situation. I think people tend to make decisions pretty easily and pretty quickly, but never hesitate to communicate. If you walk into that home one day and you're just like, oh man, I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't think that's talked about enough. And so always communicate with your realtor. If you're in there one of those times and you're just, maybe having cold feet a little bit, it's okay. Stephanie especially is a great communicator in that regard. So always communicate. Yes. Always communicate your feelings and your thoughts. And because it's a very large purchase and it can be overwhelming emotionally as well. So,
absolutely. That's a great point, Kierstin.
Once the excitement wears off, sometimes you're like, wow.
Reality sets in and you're like, what am I about to do?
Yeah.
Is it jitters and we just need to talk through the jitters? Or is it really, it's not the right house and we have found reasons why we need to go back to the drawing board?
Yeah.
We're here in Texas, and in Texas, the contracts are very buyer helpful. There's a lot of ways out of the contract. You might be out that escrow money, that one, or the earnest money. Listen to me, the earnest money. Yes. So you might be out a couple $1,000s, but in the grand scheme of a house and not being in the right spot, is it worth it? We don't want you miserable. That's not okay. So once we get through all those jitters,
yeah, we're clear to close.
We've done our walkthrough. Let's go to the title company. That's the fun part.
Yes.
Make sure you bring your driver's license. Make sure you bring your money. So for title companies, they like to get paid to give you the key. Let us give you the keys, guys.
Yeah. Money is a big part of this process.
Unfortunately, it is what it is. But we have to plan that in advance. Usually a day or two before closing, you'll get your master statement with a down to the penny. This is how much money you need to close.
Yes. That's your closing disclosure.
Closing disclosure. Thank you. And you either need to set up a wire transfer in advance, and the title companies are great. Everyone I've worked with, at least, great about sending all those instructions in advance. That way you can plan it because you want to plan it in advance so that the money is there on closing day.
And it's very important to communicate with the title company directly to avoid things like wire fraud.
Yes.
So you want to be very clear and very sure about how that money needs to be transferred from you to the title company. So if you're ever unsure about instructions or anything, again, make sure you reach out and ask questions, because the last thing we would want is for there to be some kind of, horrific mistake and the money is gone. And so
it's terrible.
Yeah, avoiding any kind of wire fraud or anything like that's super a very important part of the process.
It is. And sometimes some people will choose actually to do a cashier's check instead of wire transfer. Totally fine. No cash, no personal checks at closing. Don't bring
your debit card.
Don't bring a debit card. Don't bring a bag with a dollar sign on it. It won't work, unfortunately. But we'll go through all that. You get all that information from the title company directly as well. So make sure you've sent your money. Make sure you bring us your driver's license. Make sure you've stretched out your hand muscles because you're going to sign your life away. And some lenders, and you can speak to y'all's process specifically, will actually have you e-sign a lot of the stuff in advance. That way you don't sign quite so much in person.
Yeah, we definitely, especially here at Thrive, we try to utilize technology as much as we possibly can. So if there is an opportunity to do anything electronically ahead of time, then of course we will do that. But worst case scenario, you're signing it the day of closing.